Have you ever picked up a book that opens not with hello, but with a threat to destroy the entire world? Well, that's exactly what you get with the ancient prophecy of Zephaniah. It is a short, incredibly intense journey that kicks off with one of the most jarring lines you can imagine. But believe me, it ends somewhere you would never, ever expect.
I mean, seriously, imagine that's the first sentence you read. This isn't some subtle hint or a gentle warning. This is God making a declaration of total, sweeping judgment. So the big question is, why? What on earth was going on that would provoke such a drastic statement? To get that, we have to look at the world he was speaking to.
Okay, so to really understand this message, we've got to step into Zephaniah's shoes and take a look around. And let me tell you, the picture he saw was not pretty. We're talking about a society that was just teetering on the edge of complete collapse. All right, so let's set the scene. The year is somewhere around 630 BC in the kingdom of Judah. A young king named Josiah is on the throne, and he's about to kick off some major religious reforms. But not just yet. Right before all that happens, the prophet Zephaniah steps onto the scene, and what he sees is a nation in an absolute spiritual nosedive. And this really gives us a snapshot of the mess. You've got people openly worshiping false gods like Baal and Molech, even bowing down to the stars. And they were also trying to have it both ways, a kind of religious blend. Sure, we'll serve God, and also all these other gods on the side. On top of that, society itself was rotting from the inside out with corruption and injustice. But maybe the most dangerous part of it all was the attitude. People had just gotten comfortable. They truly believed, the Lord's not going to do anything good or bad. Just total apathy. And Zephaniah's message is like a wrecking ball aimed straight at that idea. So this brings us right to the core of his warning, a phrase he uses called the Day of the Lord. And let me be clear, this is no holiday. It's a day of reckoning. So what is this Day of the Lord? Well, Zephaniah describes it as this moment when God's justice finally breaks into human history to confront evil head-on and to purify his creation. And what's crucial here is that this isn't just some local problem for Judah. Nope, this is a global event. And the description is just terrifying. This isn't just a bad day, this is apocalyptic. A day of wrath, a day of distress, of darkness, the sound of a battle cry. Zephaniah is using every intense word he can find to make you feel the overwhelming, inescapable power of this judgment. And he drives the point home with absolute clarity. There is no escape. Your money, your power, your status, none of it matters. It offers zero protection. On this day, everyone, and I mean everyone, stands on perfectly level ground. Now, just when everything seems impossibly bleak, the book makes a sudden pivot. Right there, in the middle of this absolute storm of wrath, Zephaniah points to a glimmer of hope, a possible way to safety. And this is really the question that hangs over everything, isn't it? After you've heard about the world being swept clean, about a day of darkness and distress, you have to ask, is there any hope left at all? And the answer is yes, but the lifeline he throws out isn't power or wealth, it's humility. And that makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Humility is the exact antidote to the pride and the complacency that caused all this decay in the first place. It's admitting you are not in control and that you have to turn back to God. Seek what's right, he says, seek humility, and perhaps you'll be sheltered. This brings up a really vital idea you see throughout the scriptures, this concept of a remnant. See, God's plan is not total obliteration, it's purification. The goal is to save a small, humble, and faithful core of people who genuinely sought him. They're the seeds from which a whole new future is going to grow. And this is where the story takes its most breathtaking turn. The final part of the book moves out of that storm of wrath and into this incredible song of restoration. The entire tone just flips from shame to honor. This simple idea changes everything. Judgment, it turns out, is not the final word. It's the necessary, painful process of clearing the ground so that something new and truly beautiful can be built. And just look at this great transformation at the heart of the promise. What was once a rebellious city becomes a purified people. Where there was pride and deceit, now there's humility and trust. And all the shame and fear that came from their sin, it gets replaced by honor and security. It is a complete and total reversal. And it all builds to this astonishing verse. The very same God who began the book by declaring judgment now ends it by promising to sing. Just think about that for a second. The prophecy moves from a cry of wrath to a song of joy, a God who not only saves his people, but takes so much delight in them that he rejoices over them with singing.
So we're left with this powerful thought. Zephaniah shows us that God's justice and his joy aren't opposites. In fact, his justice is what makes true, unhindered joy even possible. It's a message that definitely challenges us to seek humility, but it also promises that on the other side of that judgment isn't just survival, but a real relationship with a God who sings.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really helps us.